So this is the cute project we're making today. And I'm going to see if I can pull up so I can see some more of the comments. Thank you, Rebecca. I'm glad you like it. Yes, Gina, I bet it is hot there. I mean, I'm in Minnesota and it's been hot in the 90s, but I bet you're in the hundreds like Lisa in California. Although I like hot, so. Okay, so this is what we're going to create today. It is so cute, and you can take the little magnets off to change out the pictures quite easily. I'm going to show you how easy it was to create. Get everything out of the way. I started with this framed enamel from Hampton Art. Now, I painted mine black because a lot of my framed stuff in my house is black, and I wanted it to match. But I love this wood tone too, so you don't have to paint it. I did choose to paint it with some Perfect Paint from Ursafe Finishes, and it worked out great. I only needed one coat. And then I also took off this rope. Now this is perfect for hanging, but I wanted my frame to go in this direction instead of this direction, so I could put my sign on it. So to take that off, I used a scissor and I cut this, and then I used a tweezer to pull out all of this excess rope. And then the staple was up high enough, because this is quite thick, I was able to just take a pliers and pull that out. Same with this. I just took it out, and then I painted the entire back too. So I tend to like things finished on both sides. So you can see I painted the back side too. Even though nobody's going to see the back side, I like to have everything finished. So to get started, I'm going to show you some of the mistakes I made while I was doing this also, because that's when you're designing something, sometimes it's in your mind and you know what it is, and you try it and you go, yeah, that didn't turn out the way I wanted, so then you kind of change it up. But I knew that I wanted to use this stencil that I created with StencilGirl because I love these letters. And to do this, I took and cut strips of cardstock. Now, originally when I was doing this, I was thinking I wanted to use like a heavier paper. So I got some mat board out, and I did the letters on here, and I die cut one, and I knew I was going to layer it on black, but after I did the black, so I was going to layer it on black, and then I didn't want the black against the black paint, so I thought, well, I'm going to layer it again, and I cut out some regular cardstock, and I didn't like that this was more of an ivory, and this is quite heavy. Well, it's chipboard, not mat board. It's chipboard, so it's quite heavy. So it would have been fine alone, but I really wanted to layer the letters. So I thought if I used a heavy cardstock and redid it, once they were all glued together, they would be thick enough and it would be fine, and I was right. So this is actually a chipboard, and it is much thicker than cardstock, but I didn't like the color. So then I cut some strips of cardstock, and I cut them just under, I took an 8.5 by 11 sheet, and I cut them just under 3 inches each. So I could fit them all. And then I just placed it. I knew I was going to die cut the letter out, so I needed to space them pretty well. And I took a dauber, and I took my Gina K Amalgam ink, and I just inked up my dauber. And I held this in place. You can tape it down if you want and to make sure, but I'm not going to go way over the lines to hit any of these other letters. So I just held it in place, and I just rubbed right inside that letter. And it goes really quick. And then by doing it this way, I could take and keep it in place and kind of lift to see if I got it dark enough. If I missed a spot, I could go back over it. But then I have my G right there perfectly. And I would space, okay, so my next letter would be R. So I would give it, I only did like 4 letters on each strip. So I had plenty of room to die cut, and I feel like as I'm rubbing, my camera is moving, so I'm hoping that's not making you guys, you know, motion sickness or anything. So this goes pretty quick until I started thinking of all the other words that I could do. So I made several different words besides grand littles. So I did this, and I did grand littles, and I did a couple other words, which I'll show you. And then I took and die cut all of the words with a stitched square die. And then I took my Cricut maker and I just put in, okay, so this is 1 3/4 of an inch. So I made this square like 1.9 because I only wanted a little bit showing. And then I came and made the white one, and I made that a 2. So it would layer nicely. So I cut out all of my squares, and then I took and put them all, I didn't want to glue everything, so I used my Xyron machine. And for those of you that don't know, you put your stuff in there, and my particular one has a handle that I crank. And what it does is it creates stickers for you. So it comes out in a sheet, and it's sticky on the back of each of these squares, but that's the only place, and it's really cool. I'm going to try to lift this up just a little bit. I feel like it's moving down as I'm working. I can see it kind of going down, like it's getting closer to my work surface. Oh, the camera is not moving? Oh, I felt like it was. Okay, so you can totally just use a tape runner or glue to do this. But what I love is, let me find, they do have a side that is a little bit wider. So you're able to take the top layer off, and all of that is sticky. And then the back of each one of these already has the adhesive on it. So it makes quick work. of doing this. And then I would take, and I wasn't like so precise that I had to get them. I was more precise when I was die cutting out my letters to make sure they were all within the stitched area. But when I did this, I just set it down and kind of knew if this was straight, it might be a little bit more on the top or the bottom, but actually that turned out really good. So all I did was layer that. So I layered all of my words. And then I took and stuck all of these through my Xyron and then layered them again. So 3 layers of heavy cardstock. And there, I have a little bit of ink on my hand. It made them nice and secure. So at that point, I knew that I wanted to put them on here, but I didn't want them permanent. I wanted to be able to, I didn't want to glue all the letters on here. I wanted to be able to change it out. So what I did was I took another piece of chipboard. So I took the chipboard again and I had it in black and I cut some strips so that I could put all of the word onto the strip, and then I used Velcro to attach it. That way I could make this an interchangeable frame depending upon what I wanted it to say. So the next words I made grand littles, but then this particular picture, this is of 2 of my grand little sons, and they were walking together and holding each other's hand to walk off the dock, and I just thought that was so adorable. My son actually took this picture, and when I printed it out, I didn't know if I wanted, I first printed it in black and white because I thought I wanted black and whites for this frame, and I thought, well, maybe I should add some color. But now I'm going back to, I think I want them black and white, so might have to redo all these pictures. But, so I have the one sign that says Grand Littles, and then I did words, and you just play with these and lay them out until you're happy with them. So I did one that says cousin, and the second word that I created, so this would go on the top, was love. And I actually did an explanation point too. That I'll put on here. So again, let me make sure I'm in screen. Again, this is 2 layers, and I know that this white layer is actually even thinner than the black, so I'm leaving just like not even a 1/16 of an inch. Okay, so I didn't get that on perfectly straight, and this is permanent adhesive, so I can take and peel it off, but this white piece won't be any good. I'll throw this white square away. It's permanent and it will stick. They do have other refills besides permanent. Okay, so So I'll make this, I'll put this together and I'll trim this down. But I thought Cousin Love, when I first saw that picture of those two, I thought that was a perfect picture for this saying. And with these, I would just take I would lay these out and I would decide, do I want this straight? Do I want this angled? And decide. But I did Cousin Love. And then the other word I did is, you can see from all the letters, I did memories. So I can put that on there and just change these out. That's what I like about Velcro. You can actually change things out quickly and easily. And this frame works perfectly for that. So I could just change this out. And when I did this, I put this strip up toward the top. And I kind of eyeballed how I didn't want these way down here. So I just kind of eyeballed it. And then I had to play with, okay, do I want that letter on top? Do I want that letter underneath? And actually I want these up just a little bit higher because I want that to show. That way you have more room for pictures. I did my pictures 4x6 and then I trimmed them down. I think I would make them, next time I would do them like 3x4 so that I have just a little bit more room. But this way, and these come off so easily. So, and these are, because this black part is chipboard and this is 3 layers of cardstock, it's going to be pretty firm. And I would just slip these into like an envelope or a protective covering, just so that they wouldn't get ruined. And this one I would cut down quite a bit. And I did put these Velcro dots in. I didn't have them sticking all the way out in case I had, let me move that, in case I had smaller words. So I put my ruler here, and this was 12 inches, and I went at 3 and 9 inches for both the top and bottom. That way I could do words in any length. And this one is, of course, much shorter, love. So I can cut that. And these ones I put down further. So I think maybe I would, I don't know if I'd angle it or not. I would play around with it a little bit. But that way you can change out your words for this frame. And I think that's a great option. So that's a fun way to do this. So you can do whatever words you want, and when you're using when you're putting your words together like this, you can do whatever you want. And if you don't want a stencil, you can print stuff out on your computer, but I love this stencil. Oops. I want the littles down here and the grand up here. So to create these are magnets. They're pretty strong. So what I did was I wanted to cut a bunch of hearts. And so that's what I did. I cut a ton of hearts with my die cutting machine, and I wasn't sure what size I wanted, so I cut black hearts that were just teeny tiny. I think these are about a 1/2 inch, and then I cut them 3/4 of an inch. And then I thought, well, I think I want them layered. So I thought, okay, so I'm going to do some white hearts. And then I thought, okay, I'll layer them. But I didn't like how that looked. I mean, it's fine, but I really wasn't loving it. And I thought, oh, I could put buttons on top of magnets, and buttons would be really cute because I'm a sewer and a quilter. And then I thought about it, and I thought, oh, you know what would be super cute is I've got some fun foam that was glitter. So I took and I die cut with my die cutting machine, my Cricut machine. I die cut a ton of little hearts. And then I thought, okay, so I have this whole box of magnets that I use for different projects. And I thought, okay, so I can just glue these to the back, which will work perfect, you know, because you wouldn't see them. I wasn't sure if I wanted them up. So then I thought, okay, I save things, you know. I mean, look at that, 2011. This has been in my magnet box. So I thought, you know what? I think my Cricut machine cuts magnets. So that's what I did. I took and I put this in. Let me see if you can see that. And I cut all these magnets out and I cut them exactly the same size as my heart. So then, okay, so this is from here. So it's magnet on this side. And I got out my Ultra Bond, and I just put a little bit of glue on the back of the glittered fun foam heart and lined it up. And then I pressed in case any glue came out the edges to create my magnets. These magnets I really like a lot. So then when I put everything together, this one is wet, so I don't want to use that. I have a bunch right here. So then I was picking out different pictures that I wanted to use of the kids. And, you know, you can lay these any way you want so that you can get more. I mean, I think I could get like 5 on here. Like that. So you can lay these out, and then it would take more magnets because these are thicker than when you're doing double layers like that. But just put your magnets on here, and you don't have to do hearts. You can do strips. You can do just magnets. You know, I have all sorts of magnets. So you don't have to. I just think it's kind of cute when you add just a little something to it. I don't know that I like all of these hearts, so I probably wouldn't have all these pictures on here with all of these hearts, but I have fun foam left, and I do have like this strip magnet, so maybe I would do just some strips if you're going to have more pictures on here, and you could just do that in a couple places too. So those options are totally up to you. But this is such a cute project, and I love the fact that this is enamel. It just reminds me of my grandma's house. So when I saw these, I knew that I wanted to create something to have my grand little's pictures on. I see something. And I just thought that this was perfect. And I love the fact that these are detachable, so you can add whatever words you want. You know, I love, like, this is perfect if I took Audrina off, or Elena off. These are all with cousins, and I could put my cousin's love on there. But it's just a cute project. It's easy to do, and these frames are perfect. And I'm gonna hang this up right in my entryway, right before my kitchen, so that when the grand littles come over, they'll see all the pictures, and I'll change them out frequently, which is perfect too. I mean, I love taking pictures, and I hate having things just on my camera. So this is a great way, like, when we do get together, to be able to put pictures out quickly, because I just printed them on my computer. Although this is glossy paper, and I think I'd really like matte paper better, so I think I have to order some of that. And I kind of think I might want to do them all in black and white. What do you guys think? Black and white or color? It's just not really sure. I really love the look of black and white, and this enamel reminds me of old fashioned, so I might change all these pictures to black and white and change them out. And you can do signs that say Happy Holidays and put Christmas pictures up there. There's just, the possibilities are endless for this particular project. I hope you guys liked it today. Because Lisa was not able to announce last week's winner, I am going to go ahead and do that. I am just looking her name up right now, because Lisa actually does the raffle part of it. She'll put everybody into, anybody who likes, shares, and comments this video with the hashtag Bella Crafts is entered into the giveaway. And we also are doing blog posts now with some of our projects from our lives. So another way to win is going to the blog and liking that particular post for that week, making a comment on it, and we throw those into the mix too. So the winner for last week is Jane Worthman. So Jane, you are the winner for our prize last week, and we will put that up and try and get in touch with you to get you your prize. So that's it for me today, guys. I hope you liked the project, and I hope you give it a try. Actually, Hampton Art has a lot of other beautiful enameled things. This is another one. I wasn't sure which project I was going to do. This is another one. This is the enamel with hooks. So this is perfect too. You could do something similar to that and just put your title up at the top here, so the grand littles could hang their things as they come in. So this would be cute too, and you could just put coats or something and then put pictures of your grand littles on there. and it's a place for them to hang their things. So they do have a lot of really cool items. So if you would go over and like their Facebook page, Lisa, if you could put the link in for that, it would be great if you go over and also like their Facebook page. And again, like, share, and comment on this video with hashtag Bella Crafts to be entered in for the giveaway this week. Thank you, everybody. We will be back next week with 2 projects. Hopefully Lisa won't have any internet issues. It's an awful feeling when you're going live and it doesn't work. I know, I've been there. So hopefully we'll both be back next week. At hers is 10 o'clock Pacific time, which is 12 Central time, my time. And mine is at 2 o'clock Central time. So we'll see you all next week. Until then, check out our website and our blog post. Bye, everyone.